talked about the fact before, I think folding cameras can be great cameras to use and often get left out of the photographic vernacular. But today I have a little classic from 1950, and it's an Ensign Selfix 1620. Now, Selfix was a range of cameras produced by Ensign. Ensign was a well-known British camera manufacturer in the 40s, well, before the 40s even, but well known for producing high-quality cameras in the 40s and 50s. And this is typical of what they produced, and it's a nice quality camera. The 1620 refers to the fact that you get 16 exposures on a roll, because the format, though it's 120, it's actually 120 film on the, and you see I've got an exposed film here, but it's on the 6 by 4.5 size, so it's slightly smaller than 6 by 6, but you get 16 exposures on the film, and it makes 120 slightly more economic to use. There's no rangefinder. There was two versions of this camera. This is the second version, and the viewfinder is a pop-up viewfinder, where the other viewfinder was built into the camera. It has a nice Enza lens. Now these lenses, the Enza lens can be a super lens. I have had misfortunes with this lens. Sometimes I've had cameras with the Enza and they've been fantastic, and sometimes I've had, especially the Commodore cameras, Commander cameras, I've been disappointed. And I was speaking to a lens person one day, and they said, oh, that's easy because it was the quality of the glass. The lens design could be the same, but after the war there were supply problems and some quality control problems with the glass, so you get various qualities of lenses, even though it's the same design. It's a 3.5 aperture, maximum aperture, which for a medium format lens is fast. And we can see the aperture range here, the focus range on the top here. Now, loading the camera, as you could see when I opened the back, was a straightforward new film in there, across, right on. Small window at the back. These windows can sometimes be a little bit of an issue on Ensign. I think the glue they use could get brittle, and you quite often find these windows missing, so you need a little bit of clear red acrylic to go in there, or nick one from a camera which isn't in such good condition. So to use focus, set your aperture. Now, this is the cunning thing on this camera. It's if you have not set the shutter and you have wind on, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a little pin in the shutter, and if you haven't set your shutter, but you have round on, you get this pin, and it reminds you to set the shutter, and then you should be able to press it without the little pin going in your finger. Unfortunately, this is the bit of the camera which often doesn't quite work properly, and even though you've set your shutter and the pins to go down easily, it still slightly resists, and it can slightly pin your little finger. So that's a little pin in there. I had a couple of winding on issues when I was using this camera, so I'm not sure how the film's going to come out, but let's have a look. The first time I used the camera, it was a really sunny day, and this is walking from Dorchester to Sinsford, and it's sharp, it's bright, we've got a good range of contrast. The camera is doing everything you could ask it to do. Except here's an example where it has got a weak point focusing. It could really do with a rangefinder attachment, because as I can see, I've got this slightly out of focus. Not badly out of focus, but it is. Meanwhile, back on the walk, and this is a path leading to the village of Stinsford, and again, good range of tones. Sharpness is really nice here. The camera is performing well. Stinsford Church is where the novelist Thomas Hardy is buried, and it is a really peaceful spot. I always find it a good place to be testing cameras, and I'm really pleased with the results I'm getting here today. The camera is very light to use. The only slight issue I mentioned about the little pin on the shutter, that can be annoying because even when the camera is performing correctly, it can still pin your finger slightly. And I did have one or two times when the shutter just wouldn't operate, and I knew that I hadn't operated the shutter, and I had to use the camera sort of manually by pressing the little lever on the side, which is something you can do with these type of folding cameras. The quality I'm really pleased with. Although you have got a slightly smaller negative here, it's still far greater quality than a traditional 35mm. Now, on another day I went out to Bridport and it was extremely dull. I tested a Zeiss camera at the same time, and I must say that the Ensign did very well against the Zeiss. Having said that, Zeiss made a vast range of cameras like Ensign, some high quality ones and some lower quality ones, and the Zeiss was a slightly lower quality. As you can see, I'm probably on Aperture f4 here, and the results are absolutely fine. It was a late afternoon in early December, and the light was weak, the conditions was not very good, and sometimes I think that is the best time to test a camera and to take photographs. We always want to take photographs, or we are inclined to take photographs when the weather is bright and sunny, but by doing that we can miss moods, we can miss atmosphere, we can miss a whole load of things. And a good quality camera should equally perform well in bad conditions than good conditions, and we can sometimes really capture a mood and a feeling. I don't know if I've quite done it here, but I'm edging towards it. Maybe a yellow filter would have been quite good to brought out the sky a bit more. There's a couple of little issues on this image here, but on the whole the camera lens performed well and I enjoyed using it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Bye.